Hey, my special friend. I wanted to make this video for you because you're busy, just like me, and I know that you are probably going to be washing dishes or driving or something right now. So I'll do my best to keep it short. I want to first say that I'm really honored that you would trust me to help guide you on your journey towards fitness and your better self, and I am very happy to be part of that. The first thing that I want to talk about in this video number one is actually not going to have anything to do with diet or specific exercises. We did talk a little bit about your goals and sort of the results that you're after, but the very first step that I want to take with you in your journey is going to have everything to do with your psychology. So the reason why I want to address our psychology is because I don't want to see us start to build up a little bit of momentum and then start backsliding, because we've all done it, and it's important for us to first look at sort of the obstacles in your mind that have got you where you are right now. The place where you are right now is a result of your mental programming. So we want to start re-scripting and looking at, first of all, the programs that have been playing this entire time in the background of your mind, and second of all, how do we kind of rewrite the stories that we've told ourselves all these years, the things that we believe about ourselves. That's going to be the very first step for us to start to create lasting change and to really believe you have the capacity to get where you want to be and to stay there. So you've got this playlist playing in the background of your life. More than likely, it's 2 or 3 songs playing over and over again, and you haven't even noticed that there's music. All of us have a script around the things that we're doing, a blueprint, a belief system. Particularly when it comes to fitness, you've got a few things that come up every single time that you think, I need to go to the gym. I'd like to lose a few pounds. When you look in the mirror and your panty line is not the way it used to be. All of us have this inner dialogue happening all the time, but what we need to do is we need to first wake up and hear the fact that there's music playing in the first place. Second of all, we need to identify what songs are playing. What is the script that keeps going on in our minds? Once we do that, we're going to rewrite the script. We're going to find a new playlist, and then we're going to learn some dance moves. So the first step in building awareness around our script is to take a moment to do an exercise that I call digging for your self-limiting beliefs. You may have worked through this before. If you've never done this kind of an exercise before, this is a great time to start, because this is going to help you create breakthroughs everywhere in your life. We'll start with fitness today. So your self-limiting belief is any belief that you have that's going to hold you back from achieving the results that you want. That's going to create a sort of self-sabotage. It's going to be sort of like you're getting momentum, but there's this rubber band that's always pulling you back towards where you were and keeping you stuck. The first thing that helps to work through this exercise, I'm going to have a worksheet available for you that I'll be emailing to you. But what we first want to do is think about the next steps in our exercise routine. So whatever that is for you, if you want to start going to the gym every day, if you want to change your diet, if you want to lose 5 pounds, we want to first start with that thought and then become aware of the emotions that come up around that thought. So if I think, I need to go to the gym today, how do I feel about that? Do I feel ambivalent? Do I feel nervous? Do I feel uncomfortable? Do I feel insecure? What are the sort of feelings coming up around that thought? And once you have that thought, what are the next thoughts that are starting to kind of play in the background? So if I think about going to the gym, I might think to myself, well, I've gained 10 pounds. Those pants are going to be a little bit tight. I don't really like the way I'm going to look in my gym clothes. That is the beginning of uncovering those self-limiting beliefs. If you think to yourself, I'd like to get back into a fitness routine, but I hate feeling weak, and I know that my legs are really weak right now. I know if I tried to run a mile, I'd have to stop in like 100 feet. I know I'd be huffing and puffing. I know that if I tried to play a game of basketball again, that my knees would start to hurt. I know that if I was to pick up karate, that I would get winded very quickly. Whatever it is that sort of crops up every time you think about taking action on your goals. And the reason why we want to do this, we want to just sort of take a moment, probably start with a free write, where we talk about where we are now and where we want to be. And we look at where we've been in the past, because so often it's our past that's going to determine where we're going. You might say, when I was in high school, I used to be a champion at my sport. I used to be so much stronger. I used to climb trees. I used to have so much more energy. Now I just hurt. Now I'm just tired. Now I don't have enough time. All of those things are the dialogue that's going on in your mind that we want to identify. Once we can identify that dialogue that's going on in our mind, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take each one of those. We can sort of distill them down into maybe 10 of them. Usually there's quite a few. I said there's 3 or 4 playlists. We might be able to summarize at that level, but once we do that, we want to rewrite that. And what I mean by rewriting that is, you might say to yourself, I can't go to the gym because I'm too fat. That might be the thing that you're thinking. There's going to be all these beautiful skinny people around me, or there's going to be all these muscular people around me, and I don't want to go to the gym because I'm going to feel judged. So you start with that, and you start to rewrite that script. You change it, and you say, I'm beautiful and curvy, and I am taking the first step towards my goals, or I am like the hottest mamacita that they've ever seen, and I'm showing up to the gym today, and I'm going to take control. Whatever it is that's sort of counteracting that belief, you want to start to build awareness when that same thought comes up over and over again. And once you've built the awareness that says, oh, I can't go to the gym today because I'm so fat, then you're going to counteract that with the affirmation or the encouraging belief, the empowering belief that says, girl, I got curves like from here to tomorrow. Ain't no thing. I'm going to go show that off at the gym today. Whatever. You've got to rewrite that script and start getting into a pattern of reconditioning your mind, building confidence and empowering yourself, rather than letting those little scripts that are running you disable you. And part of why I think this is so important is because a lot of the times when we start to dig in and look at these beliefs that have been holding us back, you'd be really surprised. Some of them are pretty crazy. And when you start to realize what you've been thinking, sometimes you even have a tendency to feel really stupid. Like you almost can't say it out loud that this is the irrational thought that's been holding you back. There's a story from a woman named Lisa Nichols. If you haven't heard her story, it's amazing. She's an author. She wrote the book Abundance Now, and she's an international speaker, extremely motivational woman, beautiful soul. She tells the story of how she was very obese for most of her adult life. She, even when she was writing and speaking and had changed her life, had gone from being on welfare to being a millionaire, she still had all this extra weight she was carrying around. So she was on stage. She was a pretty heavy lady. And she ended up losing over 80 pounds. And she tells the story of how she got rid of her 75-pound jacket. And the reason why she uncovered that she had been hanging on to this weight all these years, why she hadn't given herself permission to lose the weight, was because she had been holding on to a relationship. She had a husband that had been sent to prison, and all these years he was in prison, I want to say it was like 15 years, 20 years, something like that. She was subconsciously making herself unavailable to someone else, unattractive, so she could wait for him this entire time. So sometimes it's the most bizarre things we uncover about ourselves of why we're stuck in a certain pattern and why we can't seem to get the results that we want. Another thing that, once we go through the exercise of rewriting our writing our self-limiting beliefs, becoming aware of those patterns, rewriting those, creating affirmations, that's something that I will review with you once you've gone through the exercises, and we'll talk about that, and we'll see if we can come up with some more, dig up a little bit more, unpack some of those bags. But two of the other things that are going to come up, one of them is your identity. So often when we start to change from the way we've been for a while and leave the patterns behind, it's easy to get really uncomfortable, right? So when you're uncomfortable, lots of emotions come up, and it's the same thing as the self-limiting beliefs, the patterns that are going to pull you back and keep you stuck. So you have to start to change your identity and realize, like, if you've seen yourself as a heavy person, if you've seen yourself as a weak person, if you've seen yourself as a tired person or an underachiever or not very motivated or too busy or too stressed, you're going to have to rewrite that. You're going to have to start to have the identity that I'm happy, I'm confident, I'm strong, I'm healthy. You have to rewrite your identity, because otherwise when you start to become happy and confident and self-assured at the gym and you start to feel stronger, suddenly you're going to be uncomfortable, like, whoa, I'm not used to feeling so sexy. You got to get used to that feeling. You got to embrace it. You got to become aware of it and live it, because it's once you start to really play full out, you're going to find the people around you are going to expect you to play small. And you're going to have that constant sort of inner conflict of like, hey, I feel so strong. I look so sexy. I want to wear that bathing suit. I want to do that dance. I don't want to eat that birthday cake. I prefer not to have those tacos. You might offend some people around you, or you might start to think, well, maybe they're judging me because I'm not eating the birthday cake with everybody else. So there's always going to be those things that come up that are going to challenge the new you, and be prepared for that and be willing to love who you're becoming. And finally, my final message is to embrace the suck. That's what they say in the Navy SEALs when those guys are out there doing Hell Week. Embrace the suck. You're going to be doing new things. You're going to be stepping out of your comfort zone. You're going to feel like a noob. You're going to look like an idiot sometimes. You are going to show up and your panty line is going to look horrible, right? You're going to be using baby weights up there in the front by the mirrors when there's somebody beside you lifting like 50-pound, ridiculous barbells. You're going to go to Zumba and you're going to be the person who's going the opposite way everybody else is. But just learn to embrace it. Love yourself, lean in, don't be afraid to look like an idiot. People love you, people are not judging you, everybody's insecure, everybody's thinking about themselves. If you're worried about people judging you at the gym, more than likely, the dudes are probably checking you out, because all guys are excited to see a female in the gym. It don't really matter quite what you look like. It's just having a beautiful woman around. Tell yourself, I'm the beautiful one, they're all checking me out. I recently was at the gym having a conversation with this super muscular, big old guy. And it was the craziest thing, because he started to just sort of vent about how, some guys have been giving him crap about coming over to this gym. He had been at a different gym. And how when he was at the other gym, people weren't as big as he was. He was kind of like the big fish in a little pond. When he came over to the gym where I work out, he felt like the small guy. And it was funny to me because this guy was huge. He was super jacked. And he was even comparing himself to one of the bodybuilders who was real lean and shredded for a show, for a competition, but who was probably like 50 or 60 pounds lighter than he was, just body mass wise. And it just really stood out to me that like someone who was, in my opinion, one of the largest guys, like if I took a poll, like out of the 5 largest guys here, he would be in the top 5. But he saw himself as being smaller than the other guys, and that made him insecure to the point where he would like have to vent to some random person he's talking to at the gym. People are more insecure than you think they are. If somebody looks cocky, this guy looked cocky. He was a huge guy. I was like intimidated to even talk to him. And he like, once I started talking to him, he's like, blah, 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 and like telling me all these insecurities and stuff. And, you just realize like everybody's human. Everybody's worried about what everybody else thinks. Like, you don't have to worry about you as much as you do. Get in there, get your stuff done, live your truth, be powerful, empowered, and then give that same love to other people. That's one of the beautiful things about building your own self-confidence, is that you can start to share that with other people who need that same spark. So in summary, we are going to discover our playlist, our self-limiting beliefs that keep recurring in our mind whenever we're trying to get results, change our life. Next, we're gonna rewrite the script. We're gonna change the playlist. And finally, we're gonna make sure that as we change the playlist, as we start to learn some new dance moves, that we don't self-sabotage because we have a new identity. And when we get out there and dance like nobody's watching, we don't get super insecure that we kind of suck at it because we're just learning. So I hope this video kind of sparks some interest, can get the juices flowing, and get us started with a really strong foundation for fitness and for changing your life and for just living your best self, living your truth, and becoming the confident, beautiful person that you already are. We just got to get some of that crap out of the way and let you unleash that beautiful, sexy beast inside. I love you. Thank you.